Today we're going to talk about the tearing open of the Red Sea. We all know that the tearing open of the sea is a supernatural wonder that there are different disputes about for over 3,000 years, but we won't go into these details. Did it happen or in practice? Even though that I know that according to Kabbalistic sources, it shows that any spiritual appearance has to at least once manifest in the corporeal world. Maybe not to the same extent, maybe not in the same time, but should. How would you answer this question? I would say that any appearance that might spiritually occur to any person during his special spiritual development has to occur once in our corporeal world too, in its physical manifestation. Okay, the rest we'll leave to historians, because there are disputes, of course. But what we'd like to ask about is, in relation to man, what is the tearing open of the Red Sea? If we look at the story from the Torah, then the event happens after the children of Israel, after getting permission from Pharaoh, in haste leave Egypt. We already talked about this on our previous show, that Egypt are man's egoistic qualities. They run away, and after a week, they reach the Red Sea. Pharaoh, he regrets releasing the people and sends his cavalry and so on, his soldiers. The situation of the people of Israel seemed helpless, and they were about to jump into the sea. The first question is, what does it mean that Pharaoh repented? Repented in man's inner work. The thing is that when a person escapes his ego, he has to completely come out of it, once and for all. And the feeling of the boundary that he goes through, this is the feeling of the passing through of the Red Sea. So what they feel is the strongest outburst of ego in themselves that forces them as if to turn back and go back to Egypt, into being slaves to the ego, in their ego as before, to obey it, and they don't know what to do. On the one hand, they want to go there. On the other hand, they want to go here. And this is the state that they're in. Before this bustling ocean, sea, meaning all of this occurs inside the person. Does it occur inside one person or within a group of people? It happens inside each and every person in a group of people, due to the fact that they are trying to rise above their ego in order to connect, and in that state to go through this egoistic barrier and connect with one another. So they're standing in front of this. They have the situation. There's the sea in front of them. They have to jump in. Well, it's allegorical. Behind them, Pharaoh's soldiers, and the Creator allegorically, of course, tells Moses, raise your rod, and the sea will open. What does it mean? Meaning that with the help of what we've already seen, where a person advances with the help of going in faith above reason. The rod, The rod mateh in Hebrew means in faith above reason. Mateh, rod, is beneath your reason, beneath your ego. So you have to lower it so much that you disregard what it tells you, and this way you go above it. And this is what helps man go through the Red Sea. So once they passed onto the other shore, the sea returned to its normal state and drowned all the Egyptians. What does that mean? Meaning those that do not want to advance in faith above reason, but meaning only in the quality of bestowal, connecting between them above their ego, for them, this condition puts them to death, meaning you'll have no spiritual attainment. You will not be able to pass through the Red Sea. You will not be able to go through it. You will not be able to acquire this quality that is above your ego. And this is what practically symbolizes that all of our egoistic desires drown at sea. So there's this split between altruistic and egoistic desires, and this the tearing open of the Red Sea, meaning part of them remain. The altruistic desires come out of the sea, and the other part, the Egyptians, die, meaning later it will be possible to use them. Exactly. Why water? What is it about water? Sea. It represents altogether, as a rule, life, the quality of bina, the quality of bestowal, the quality of love. Man is born in the water. We all came out of the water, and so on. Water is the foundation of life, but there are good waters and there are evil waters. So, when the water is not free of the ego, then those are harmful waters, waves. Suppose a sea that consumes those that are in it. This is exactly how it is then. Why is it the ending sea? In Hebrew, the Red Sea, Yam Suf, also means the ending sea, because there they come out of their quality of the ego and receive the quality of bestowal. So can we say that that's crossing the barrier between the ego and... Yes. And as he said, that the sea is split with the help of man's faith. When Moses raises the rod, mateh in Hebrew, and mateh comes from the word mata, below, the ego is lowered. And this way, one can go through all obstacles, meaning he is not governed, man is not governed by his own reason and logic, but by wanting to give the quality of bestowal that actually is completely unrealized yet unrealistic. When bestowal, love, connection to others is above any personal interests and personal salvation, this is manifested in Nashon's leap into the great waves of the Red Sea. Why does this quality of Nashon in a person jump and not Moses as the leader? Usually it's the leader that goes first. The thing is that Moses is already above this quality, higher than it. Moshe, is already the quality of Binah, and therefore for him it is not a problem. It is not a problem to be in the quality of bestowal, in the quality of love. It is what governs him, what controls him as he leads this nation, these people, these desires, gradually releasing them of the ego and passing them through to love among them, between them. So what is actually this supernatural action, this wonder where a person is suddenly given the ability to think about others more than about himself, which is actually supernatural, and you get nothing in return, meaning it's not to egoistically care for someone. So this is what the entire story is about. It is the shift of a person to a completely different system of existence where bestowal, love, your attitude towards others is more important to you than yourself, and a person enters this state practically forever. He crosses the border, and in accordance with how he used to live in the past in a state where he was only for himself, our ordinary ego, then now he lives only in this state and for the sake of others. So a person's worldview, approach to life, calculation, everything changes. Yes, after the border of Egypt, a person's entire attitude toward the world changes. So he doesn't take himself into account, he takes others into account. Yes, that which appears in you, you for sure know that this is something that you have to invert. But what motivates a person? Why does he do it? Because it is the quality of the Creator. Only because of that. Yes, and he wishes to be closer to him. So were it not the quality of the Creator, he himself would not do something like that. Right? Then there would be no reason, only that. Okay, so that's the motivation. Thank you very much. I think that we briefly went over the state of the Red Sea, the ending sea, ending because a person no longer goes back to Egypt and remains in this new state. Yes, thank you very much. All the best.